So hello friends and welcome back. So in this video we are solving the problem D, Xenia and colorful gems. So first of all I will explain the problem statement, what the problem says and how we want to approach it. So yeah, let's see it. So first of all it is completely said that there's a girl named Xenia and she has NR means number of red gems, NG number of green gems, and NB number of blue gems. So actually we will be having NR, NG and NB which will state number of red gems, number of green gems, number of blue gems. Now what we will be having more is that we will be having the weights of these NR red gems. Suppose we are having 4 red gems, so we will be having 4 weights. Okay, suppose we are having 6 green gems, so we will be having 6 weights. Okay, if we are having blue gems, so we will having suppose NB is suppose 5, so we will be having 5 weights. So actually these weights, suppose these are some weights, let's say any weights. Okay, so we will have one weight X from here, one weight Y from here, and one weight Z from here, so that after having these weights what we actually need is that X minus Y whole square plus Y minus Z whole square plus Z minus X whole square, it should be minimized. Actually we want to have X, Y and Z so that this equation, as you can see, should be minimized. So now you will see, like let's take first example. So first example, as you can see here, first of all we have T which is 5. I should change it the color. Okay, wait, and yeah, so first of all T is 5. Okay, after that we have 2, 2 and 3 which says the number of red gems, the number of green gems and the number of blue gems, N, B. Now we will having number of weights for 2 means for 2 and for 3. So first of all for 2 we have 7 and 8, for this we have 6 and 3, for this we have 3, 1 and 4. Now as you can clearly see in the problem, we need to choose one weight out of this and this. Like in the statement it is completely said that if we choose 7, 6 and 4, so if we choose, like it is X, it is Y, it is Z. So after choosing this the 7 minus 6 whole square plus 6 minus 4 whole square plus 4 minus whole square equal to 14. So actually it is the minimum value which we can get after choosing these X, Y and Z. So now so it is a problem statement. Okay, now it is a problem statement, but you will ask, Arya, how should I approach it? Okay, so yeah, I should explain it better. Okay, so if we have NR gems and the weight is having suppose R1, R2, R3 up to RNR. Okay, basically these are the weights of these red gems. Okay, now the green NG gems, suppose these are G1, G2, G3 up to GNG. Okay, and these you can say B gems, suppose it is B1, B2, B3 and up to B and B. Okay, so please don't worry from these like numbers R1, R2. So it is only the representation of the weights which I have showed you earlier. As you can see, the weights here These are only the representation of these weights. So actually what we need is that we need to choose one weight from here, one weight from here, and one weight from here, so that the equation should be minimized. Now what you will think is that, okay Aryan, first of all what I should do is that I will first of all choose this. Now if I choose this, then I will see here what is the minimum for this. Suppose it comes this. Okay, now for this and this, I will choose what will be the minimum for the result for this. Let's suppose it is this. Okay, so it's so random. So we have to choose x from, okay, we have to choose x from here, y from here, and z from here. Okay, so actually what you can see is that we will run a loop for I equal to 0, I is less than nr, I plus plus. Then we will run a loop for j equal to 0, j is less than n, g, j plus plus. Then for k equal to 0, k is less than nb, and k plus plus. So actually it will be O of n cube, as you can see. But actually in the problem statement it is given that n is 10 raised to the power 5. So it will not work. So basically the basic intuition is that we have to choose one element. Suppose from this nr we have to choose one element, and for that particular element, suppose if I choose this, then what is the most like very good value of ng and nb. Or you can say, as in this equation it is completely stated that x minus y whole square plus y minus z whole square plus z minus x whole square. So if we need to minimize this, so actually see it is the squares and these all are added. So actually we need to minimize this x minus y. Okay, or you can say the mod of x minus y. Okay, because actually see it is greater than 0, it is also bigger than 0, it is also bigger than 0. Okay, so actually what we need to minimize is that, sorry, we need to minimize y minus z, which is y minus z mod, and z minus x, which is z minus x mod. So actually we need to minimize this. Okay, so what it says is that we need to choose, suppose if we choose an x, so we need to choose a y such that the difference of x and y is minimum. Understanding? Because if we will choose a y for that x such that the difference is minimum, so only we will have its minimum value. And see, as I told earlier, we choose an x. Okay, for that we choose a y, and as you can see here also we need to choose a z for the same condition. So if randomly I choose a x, then I have to choose a y and a z so that the difference of these x, y and x, z is minimum. Okay, now you will say like, Aryan, what about y and z? Aren't those minimum? So actually see, if you have a array 1, array 2 and array 3, I will have every element of this, I will check with every element of this and this. Now I will do same for every array, for this as well, for this as well, and for this as well, and I will do the same for every element. So if you want to say like, Rn, what about y and z? So actually it will be covered in these 6 conditions which are sorry, which I am showing you now. So yeah, up till now actually the basic, up till now actually, sorry, yeah, wait a minute. So up till now the basic intuition is that we need to choose an element x, okay, And for that element x, we need to choose an element y and z so that the equation, or you can see the x minus y and y minus z is, sorry, x minus z is minimum. And if we do this, then y minus z will also be minimum. So now you will say, okay, but can you please show like how? So see, as I showed you here in this, wait a minute, let me have it. So yeah, as you can see here, see, as I showed you here, what we will do is that we will first of all run a loop for this, and the nearest value of this in this. Now you will say, okay, but Aryan, how will I find it? Yeah, a good question. See, actually, if I remind you of a term, binary search. So, actually, what it actually means. So you want to say something like binary search, okay? But actually, it is applied on a sorted array. So, yeah, it is true. It is applied on a sorted array. So how about we sort it? Yeah, it is true. So we will sort it in n log n. Yeah, every array will be sorted in n log n. It will work fine. Okay, but Aryan, how about applying binary search in here? How it is like? How you think about binary search here? Okay, I will say. See, if we have an array 2, 3, 6, 8, 9, 11, 13. Okay, so we need to search an element. Understanding? See, I was having an element x. I need to search an element y in the array 2 and an element z in the array 3 so that the element is nearest to x. So actually, I need to search an element y. It is an element y, and y is the element which is nearest to x. Understanding? I need to search an element in the array 2, which is the element y, and the element which I need to search actually is the element nearest to x. I am not saying, see, exactly the basic binary search says that we need to search an element exactly the same, but the slight variation is that we need to search an element which is nearest to x. Understanding? So in the array 2, which in which I have to choose an element y, so I will choose an element y such that it will be nearest to x. So in this I will search. See, mark my words, what I am saying. I am searching an element y, an element, sorry, I am searching an element x or an element which is nearest to x to find this element y. Okay, so actually if I suppose if it is 4, okay, so as in the binary search, what we have is that we will have its mid. Okay, 4 is not equal to 4. Okay, it's fine. So it is less, so we'll go here. Okay, it is also not equal, but it is bigger, so I will go here. Okay, it is not equal to this. Okay, it is fine. But now as you can see, the array is finished. Aryan, what should I do now? I have not got any element. Yeah, it is sure. You have not got any element, but actually if you see is that you got the nearest element, 3 and 6. Or how about 6 and 8? Oh yeah, man, you were true. So you can see here, the element which we wanted y will be either this or this or this. Okay, so yeah, it is amazing. So how about we apply the same thing? Now I will show you this, what I write here. So what I will do is that I will have this array, then I will first of all I will choose an element this, then for the element this I will choose an element in the array which is nearest in log n time, and for the array this in log n time, and I will iterate in the whole array once, so in n. So actually the complexity will be O of n log n plus n log n, because actually it is not inside each other. I will have an x, I will choose an element y for it, and I will have an x and I will choose an element z for it. And after choosing those elements x, y and z, I will see my equation and I will choose the minimum value which I am having. So now you will say, okay Aryan, I will apply this you said that binary search, and I knew that I have to iterate at every array, and for that x I will choose y and z, for the y I will choose x and z, and for x I will choose y and z, and yeah, I will find the minimum value as you said. Okay, it is true, but how I will write the program for this search? Oh yeah, no worries man, you have STL for that. Yeah, so actually we are having STL. Now you will say, okay, but how might STL help in that? No worries, STL will help like this. See, the basic thing of STL in binary search like question is that, or you can say in the question when the array is sorted, either it may be a vector, it may be an array or anything, we can apply lower bound. It gives an iterator to an element which is equal to or bigger than the required element. Now it is slightly like you might say, okay, like what are you saying man, like what is this bigger and equal to? And let me finish it, I will explain it. And the upper bound which gives an iterator. You see, you understanding the word iterator? I am using iterator because actually it not gives the value. Actually, it points to an element which is equal to or greater than the required element. But the upper bound, it gives the element which is strictly greater than the required element. Now you will say, Aryan, like what you said that upper bound, lower bound equal to, what was this? So actually I will see if I have wait a minute, let's take another page. Okay, yeah, I'm having another page now. So actually if I'm saying like if I am having 2 4 4 6 6 6 and this and 8, so it is suppose 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Yeah, so these are the indexes and these are the values. So what this iterator will do is that what the iterator will do is that, see, if I want to search lower bound, I will have, suppose it is array, suppose it is vector, suppose it is array, so AR, then AR plus what is the size, it's basically 9, and I will pass the array, suppose I want to search 6. So it is basically how we write it: array initial size, okay, array final size, and the value we want to search the lower bound for. So the lower bound, what it will do is that it will point to this element, the index 4. So if suppose I want index, then what I will do is that I will write the same thing, lower bound this, the whole thing here, minus AR of, as you can see, so that this, it will do this and it will do this. So what it will have is that it will give me 4 minus 0, which is actually equal to 4. So from this we can see that I am obtaining the value which is, I am obtaining the index for which the value is actually 6 or bigger than 6. Suppose if I would be having value 5, then you will say, okay Aryan, like, so what will it search if I am having 5? So yeah, true, it will have an array pointing to 6, because actually we need an element which is strict, which is equal to or bigger than the required element. Now you will say, how about upper bound, Aryan? What is the upper bound of you can say 6? See, as I actually said that for upper bound also, we have the same, like how we write it, ar plus 9, and suppose we pass an element 6, for which we need to have an upper bound. So the upper bound, what we will do, as I said, we need to find an element which is strictly bigger than 6, which is that it is this. So actually lower bound will have an answer for this, and upper bound will have an answer for this. So actually what we need to do is that we need to see, now you will say, okay Aryan, actually you are true, we actually wanted to have something which is near to or equal to it, but okay, but as you said that we need to have the nearest element, so how about the nearest element in this? So for the lower bound, nearest element of 5, it can be 6 or it can be 4. Yeah, true. But actually if the element 5 is in there, okay, it is in there, so the lower bound will have an answer to 5. And if it is not there, okay, true, then we will not having the answer for 5, but we are having an answer which is bigger than this. Okay, true. But okay, but still, like how about 4? It is never used actually. So what are you saying actually? So yeah, for the reason the before element is not used, what I will do is that I will, for an element, suppose if I have an element x, then I will search an element y and z. Okay, but I will do is like that. First of all, I have an array. Okay, it is for y, it is for z. First of all, I will apply lower bound here, upper bound here. After that, I will apply upper bound here, lower bound here. Understanding? And after, see, because if I will do like this, then what I will do is that, see, first of all, lower bound here, upper bound here, and after that, for having a fixed value of x, and after that I will apply for that fixed value of x, upper bound here and lower bound here. Sorry, upper bound here and lower bound here. So that, and by this, the problem of having an element which is before, it will be reduced, because actually when I will apply the upper bound, I will have an index which is less, because actually the upper value I will never take. But actually if you see here, the lower bound, I will have the exact index what it is showing, but here I will reduce the index by 1. Understanding? So actually here it is having the index same, indexing is reduced by 1, indexing is reduced by 1, indexing is same. Understanding? See, if it is I, it is j minus 1, it is I minus 1, it is j. Okay, amazing. So now because of this I am having both, like it might be happening that the element is less here if I do here, so it will be obtained by using this, because actually we are doing I minus 1 here. So now I will explain you the code. I think the problem statement, which I have written the code, it might explain you much better. So first of all, as you can see, I have t, okay, then I have nr, ng and nb, okay, then I take the array elements, okay, then I take the array elements, it's still okay, and it's for array 3, means I mark the array for the red elements as nr, then ng, and then nb. Cool. Then as I said that binary search will be applied to an elements which are sorted, so I will sort it. Yeah, true. So I sorted it. Then I need the minimum answer. As I said that I need to have a minimum value, so I take long max as answer. For answer, as you can see that I have make it global, because actually I will make a function solve and I will find the value of answer in this. True. Then for the simplicity, I mark n1 as nr and n2 as ng and n3 as nb, because I was like not remembering what is nr, ng and nb. Then as you can see, for that element of that I will choose an I will choose an array AR1. Then I will find the value of y and x, y and z in AR2 and AR3. And as I said that I will reverse it, means I will have to find y in AR3 and then z in AR2, so that I should have the minimum. And I will do the same. See, I will do the same for the other two array, means for the array 2 and same for the array 3, and I will find the answer. Now the function solve, it is explained above. It is this, like first of all we are having an array 1, array 2 and array 3. Okay, it's completely fine. Then nr, ng and nb, as I said that n1 and n2 and n3. Then for that one array, which is array 1, I will run the loop I will run whole loop, because actually I want to iterate on every element. Then for every element I will choose an element x. Okay, I choose an element x. It is the every element of the array AR1. Then I will choose an element y, which will be the lower bound of array 2. Because see, actually here as you can see I replace array 3 and array 2. So actually the lower bound, because of the reason this, because of the reason this, because of the reason this, complete reason this. Wait, I should better use a snipping tool to explain the solve function, right? So actually, yeah. See, so now I am using a snipping tool to explain this problem. See, lower bound, it is here. Okay, so what I actually have is that I will apply lower bound to my array 2 and upper bound to my array 3, and as I showed you in the main function, I replace array 3 and array 2, because actually I want to have lower bound value for array 2 as well, and other time I will want to have for for array 3 as well. So for array 2 I applied the lower bound as I showed you, and for array 3 I applied the upper bound. See, if lower bound lower bound is equal to ng, which is never possible, but if it is having ng, so it is not possible. So actually we will continue and we will not find our answer. And if the upper bound is 0, which is also never possible, so I will do this. Okay, so now what I will do is that I will have my element y, because see, as I showed you, lower bound is an iterator. So actually I have to store a value. What is the value at that iterator? So I will store it in y, then I will store the value of upper bound in z. And actually as I showed you, upper bound is it points to an element which is greater than the required element. So I have to reduce an index by 1, as I showed you here. And as I earlier said that I have to make the array value minimum. So what I will eventually do is that I will have the minimum value by having x minus y whole square, y minus z whole square, and z minus y whole square. So actually you will say like, Aryan, what is this? Okay, I will actually show you. I have made a function, as you can see here. So although you don't have to make it, but still it's what I use. So actually it's not any written, but I have written it above, so you can see from here. And from this my minimum answer will be fine, and yeah, you can have the minimum answer. So I thought you guys understood it. So in this video I completely explained what is binary search and how it can be applied to a hard problem, and how to think that actually, yeah, it is a search, because actually for an element x we need to search an element y and z. So actually it is the reason we apply search here. So it can be applied to anything where you want to search something and you want to search in log and time. Okay, so I think you guys understood it. It took very much number of pages here, as you can see 1 2 3 4, but yeah, it was worth the time. So if you like the explanation, so yeah, please like the video and
tell me pretty eyes, look me in the face, tell me that you love